leaving Okinawa, I actually flew out on a Star Wars plane. It had like these C-3PO like seat covers. There was a C-3PO R2-D2 BB-8 announcement on the plane. Some stuff. Here's a better shot of the plane after I landed in Tokyo. But while I was still in the air, I got my first view of Mount Fuji. There in the distance. Gonna get a nice closer look at it here, but we're gonna get an even closer look at it in a couple of seconds. But also I saw the Yokosuka power station from earlier in the trip. That means there's Godzilla somewhere in those hills. I've zoomed in, I haven't been able to find it. My train to the Fuji area was this cute train based off of La Ville de Gaspard et Lisa. I guess it's a French fairy tale that I never heard of. Also, I love the wood floors in it. Also got this really cool view of Fuji while there's not a house in the way. While I was coming into Fujiyoshida, it was also Sakura season in the mountains, which was cool seeing those after not seeing them for a little bit. Here's me after I got off the train in Fujiyoshida. It was about a 10-hour trip, so I decided to go to bed to get up early the next morning to try and catch the sunrise on Fuji. Also caught some early morning Sakura. And I also just kind of love this shot of Fuji at the end of the trains in the dark. But where I went was the Arakurayama Sengen Park. You're gonna see it in a second, but you've seen this view if you've seen a shot of Mount Fuji and the kind of like sea of Sakura in front of it. It was really cool. Also super crowded for like 5 a.m. I think sunrise is officially like 5:10. I usually hate crowds, and this was pretty crowded, but I thought it was pretty cool just everyone kind of like gathered there for the event of sunrise. There were people like literally like hanging off the side of the mountain. Here's a good shot without the crowd and the Sakura in front. This is... you never get over it when you're there. It doesn't kind of, I guess, transfer into video. Hopefully it does. But as I was there, just kind of like sit there staring at it, and you just kind of like get lost in it. Here's the sun over the mountains, and across some cherry blossoms, and get the shot of the sun on Fuji. The sun coming up and hitting that like white cap, I thought was actually like really cool, and I understand why people were there. The people at the front of the line must have been there at like 4:30 or something. Also, going back to Fujiyoshida, I saw what I guess are their mascots, which appear to be drunken tapirs? What's going on, Fujiyoshida? Also, because nothing was open except the convenience store, I got a meat bun with a cool view. Also, I love this view from the train station with like the tracks leading to Fuji. But my first stop was Montbell. This was the inspiration for the outdoor shop Caribou in Yuru Camp. This bear, the inspiration for a caribou coon. No, I didn't hug it, but I did get a selfie. There's a lot of like camping supplies. I think most of the people there were actually shopping for camping supplies. I don't think there was a ton of tourists be like, oh my god, it's the shop from Yuru Camp, except for me. But my first stop after that, or my next stop, was to these Gotemba outlets. They seem to be fairly like bougie outlets in the shadow of Fuji back there, but I went there because there's an exclusive Pikachu on Mount Fuji that I had to get. It was only about 45 minutes from Fujiyoshida. There's the plush version. And after that, I was starting to make my way to Minobu, the setting of Yuru Camp. But because I didn't have like the ETC, like the Japanese version of Easy Pass, I had to take like all back roads. Also, Yuru Camp ads here at the Family Mart. It was actually, I liked the trip a lot. I loved this shot of Fuji as I was driving with like the clouds coming off of it. Going through a bunch of tunnels in the mountains was also fairly cool and not dangerous that I'm driving while taking a video. This is me in Minobu, kind of in the area where the high school is, and you can see some of the Yuru Camp stuff with this shop. There's the high school there in the distance. Zoom in a little bit. And there's cool because there's signs all the way to it because you can't like Google map to it because it's no longer like an active building. This used to be a elementary and junior high school. It still has the cherry blossoms out in front though. But it's closed and they've kind of turned it into this little tourist attraction. There's the girls inside. Also the new design of the girls. So someone put these in there recently. Some of the posters you see around town are mostly for like the second season. Like there's the second season stuff. I think that poster is the first season stuff. You couldn't get in. I think they use it as like a community center. But you could walk around the grounds, like you could go out here to the yard. This is where the Out Club does like most of their activities in the show when they're not out on campgrounds. That's where I think the club room is. I went over to see if I could get in. I couldn't. There are shoes that appear to be abandoned. Also these creepy abandoned unicycles. Maybe they're being used, but this actually was like mildly creepy, the only part. Also, there's a school in the distance, and this is the walkway up to the school. I didn't realize till I was driving down that it's like, oh man, this is from the show. I gotta stop and take a video. But yeah, there's the school. Also, when I got to Minobu proper, this is like the tourist parking area and had all these Yuru Camp vending machines, which was pretty cool. I was actually a little worried when I got to town because it was like dead quiet. There was nobody out, nobody walking around. A lot of the shops appeared to be closed. I was really hoping to find some Yuru Camp goods. But I was like, betting everything's closed because everything looks kind of closed. I did stop at this shrine, did the whole shrine deal, bell, give money, pray. But I prayed to try and find some Yuru Camp stuff. And I did. I actually found a ton of stuff. This shop is like right by the station, and it had basically everything Yuru Camp that you could want. Oh, hey, there's me and my gritty pouch. Stickers. Here's some keychains coming up. This leatherworking stuff. More stickers. Food stuff. Cookbooks. Camping cookbooks. I thought it'd be cool, but they're all in Japanese. Stuff to hold your camping food. These acrylic stands I actually really loved. I got a bunch of them because there's a lot of characters that you don't always see. Keychains. And Reen's bike, Reen's scooter that she drives around, and some cool standees. I actually really loved this store. There was so much Yuru Camp stuff, but the staff was also like really super nice and really helpful. Let me take a lot of videos. Also loved my gritty pouch. I had to show them what gritty was. Also, I love these. They weren't for sale, but they're like off-road SUV Yuru Camp style. Are there more standees that I wish I could have bought? And it is like literally like directly next to the station. So if you ever want to train in and not drive around like I did, it's literally right there. Also, I just want to walk around Minobu a little bit because some of these shots are just really cool. The views were great. This river, it is technically in the show, but I just want to be like, man, this river is super awesome. And these views of the mountains are really cool. Also, walking back to my car, I saw these little friends. This place was closed. I don't think it was like a tourist shop. I think it's actually like an office of some kind, but it had cats that lived there, and they were in the window when I walked by. Hello, baby. This is where I spent the night, the Motosu Central Lodge at the Kouan Camp Ground. If you're a big Yuru Camp fan, you know this is where they opened both Season 1 and 2. It had a cool like dining area, also a Yuru Camp shop that I also spent money in. Here's my room. It's actually more spacious than it looks here. It's only a few tatamis big. It has a little TV that I didn't use, little sink area. And if you look out the window, it's kind of obstructed by that tree, but you can still see Fuji. You can see it better in real life than in the video. Downstairs, I had like a huge manga section, places where you can sit, relax. There was a guitar in the corner, TV you could watch, cool seats. All the Yuru Camp manga obviously were there. But I went out because I wanted to go down to the spot where they actually are at in the show. And like walking down this, you get all like the campfire smell and hear all the camp noises. So that was pretty cool. It was actually like super crowded at night. Like I usually go to bed at like 10 or 11, and you can still hear people like out talking down by the campsite. That seemed pretty fun, but this is the view from the campground, the view from the 1,000 yen bill. I also they had like the option of like a full Japanese dinner, and it is a full Japanese dinner. Also great view of Fuji, but it is a lot of food. I couldn't remember if Japan's like not rude to finish your plate, and that like bowl was full of rice, so it was super filling. So I decided to take a walk. Here's Fuji at night. And a little bit down the way is this kind of bathroom. This is where they find Nadeshiko at the very start of the first season of Yuru Camp, right on that bench. Here's a close-up picture of a bench on a dark night at a rest stop. The kind of content you come here for. But even better, there was these kind of Fuji chocolate brownie things that were super delicious. I wish that I got more of them. And at night, I watched the first 2 episodes of the new season of Yuru Camp. It's a new studio, so the designs are slightly different. I don't hate them so much. I'm getting more used to them, but I really love the 2 new episodes. Very fun, very Yuru Camp. And that was my day in the Mount Fuji region. It's not that cold. I'm wearing this hat because it's the hat Reen wears in Yuru Camp, and my hair doesn't look great, so worked out that I can cover that up with this cool hat that I bought in the gift shop downstairs. This is my lodging in the campsite. It's actually pretty spacious. I was in a hostel last night. I was expecting something more dorm-like that. I would have a cool shot of Mount Fuji, but it's foggy this morning, and it's just starting to peek through, so it's not coming through on camera. But yeah, loved it. Even though like I had to drive around a bunch, I think that drive and seeing the sights ended up being pretty cool. It probably would have been just as cool on the highway, but still, Minobu was great. Seeing the school, I loved seeing the school. The shop, loved the shop. I've probably talked about the shop a lot. I haven't edited this video. I'm going to make sure I shot this like stand up while I was still in this hotel room. Also, the dinner was really good and filling. I'm just recounting things that you've probably already seen because I haven't edited the video. But this is definitely a place I'm going to come back to when I come back to Japan. It's so cool. This hotel is so cool. Next time I want to try and camp down on the beach and do a full Yuru Camp, but didn't have time for that this time. And next time, it's also getting pretty close to when I have to leave. Only a couple more days left, and the next 2 days are in Tokyo. So until then, bye.